So let's talk about the film Blink Twice. This is Zoë Kravitz's directorial debut. This has a cast that is really stacked. Before we get into the review, I will tell you this is a spoiler-free review of the film. No spoilers here. Spoiler video will come out tomorrow, so make sure you tune into that. But make sure you're subscribed and notification bell on to know when that video drops with the spoilers if you want that. We're on the road to 35,000 subscribers. We already hit 33K, so very excited about that. But let's get into this film, Blink Twice, which had a working name. We'll get more into that title and everything and why it had to be changed. So anyways, I will tell you before I talk about this film that this is a film that can have some triggers, and I don't really want to get too much into them here. I'll talk more about them in the spoiler video, but MGM and Amazon have released a statement about it just so everybody knows about that. But let's get into the film, my thoughts on it, and what I thought about Zoë Kravitz as a director now. So this film is directed by Zoë Kravitz. It's co-written with E.T. Feigenbaum. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You have Naomi Ackie starring alongside Channing Tatum, Christian Slater, Simon Rex, Adria Arjona, Haley Joel Osment, Kyle MacLachlan, Geena Davis, and Alia Shawkat. This is a film that I had no idea what we were getting into. I had seen the trailers. I was ready to see what I thought would be like a cult thriller, things like that, but nothing prepared me for what this ultimately became, which I'll talk about spoilers tomorrow. Let's start off with Zoë Kravitz. This is Zoë Kravitz's directorial debut, and for a directorial debut, in my opinion, this is a very, very strong one. I think Kravitz has such an amazing eye when it comes to color schemes and also the way she frames her film and just the technical aspect of it. She really excels at that. There are so many inspired shots here that I really did love. There's so many shots that are more like, I would say, establishing, and you see things in the distance, and then there's some more experimental choices when it comes to doing some flashbacks in the film, and also when it comes to doing some party scenes, all of that. There's a lot of musical cues that I really love. I'm somebody who just is really about vibes when it comes to a film sometimes, and musical cues, if they're dropped right, just do something for me. And I know some people don't care about that, but that's me. From a story standpoint, I do think that that is where the film can kind of lose its footing sometimes, because the pacing here, it can be a little off, especially at the beginning, and it kind of feels like, okay, we've seen this happen already, let's get to where you're going with it. So it can be a little bit tedious, a little frustrating at the beginning, but I do feel like once it reaches its second half and it starts really going, it takes a bit to get off at the ground, but once it's off the ground, to me, it's completely soaring in the sky. Really, really love the latter half of this film. The last third of the movie as well really just goes for it and goes all the way non-stop. Like, it just got an adrenaline boost. That's how the film feels. And I still think, however, that even though it does have a tedious pacing to it, it can feel slow at the beginning, the cast does a great job at keeping you entertained, because I think Naomi Ackie, I think Channing Tatum, Alia Arjona, as well as the Shawkat do an amazing job here in the film. They are entertaining. They're able to carry with their dialogue that they are giving, and it really does leave you intrigued to see what exactly is happening here. So the premise of the film says a cocktail waitress becomes infatuated with a billionaire tech mogul and travels with him to his private island for a luxurious party, where things begin to go wrong after her friend vanishes. So we've seen the trailer and all of that already, right? And I think that this film really does do a great job with its tones and really like showcasing the true horrors in this island. And trust me, nothing really can prepare you for what the true horror is. It almost is something I would say could be borderline offensive to a lot of people as well. And I wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't think twice if somebody said they felt offended by it. I think that Zoe does take some very bold choices in the way some subjects are handled in this film, and that could be a make it or break it for some people. So I think that that subject matter definitely is going to be interesting, how people perceive it as well once it is fully out, and what people will think about the way Zoe handled it. And I think that Zoe does a great job as well of giving this sort of like horrors in a very upfront way, and it's bold, like I said, and I think that it works in a way, but I think that it can turn off some people as well. And like I said at the beginning, I don't think people should feel one way or the other if they didn't feel like it landed like it's supposed to, because I think it's such a tricky and very messy subject as well to talk about in a way that it doesn't come off offensive, that some people are definitely going to be thinking it just didn't land. And I think that Zoë really takes a lot of risk here, something to behold, I think, from her directorial debut. Overall, the cast is amazing here as well. Like I said, I think everybody is on top of their A game. Naomi Ackie and Arjona make such a great team in this film as well. Like I said, I think Arjona really packs it with the comedy here, and especially the second half of the film, they really take a turn with each other, and it just lands so well, where I was thinking, why couldn't this have been set up a little before? Because I really like that whole chemistry Naomi and Adria had. Channing Tatum here is at the most range you've ever seen Channing Tatum, I feel, because he plays almost two different characters at a time, as he is sort of navigating this like tech mogul, but also this person who seems to be hiding a lot of things at the same time. And I really did enjoy his performance here. It was so great, and I want to see more Channing Tatum in these darker roles after this. But overall, I really just found problems with the pacing. I did think it felt a bit too slow at the beginning for its own good. Once the second half came in and things shifted into a different gear, I think that's when the film really found its footing. Those last 30-40 minutes were definitely the highlight of it all. It really did deliver, and I will tell you, it is a film with a lot of trigger warnings for a lot of people. Really look into those. I'll leave a link below if you want to see what I'm talking about, what Amazon and MGM put out. But I do think that blink twice if you're okay with all of that and watching a film like this. It is a solid directorial debut from Zoë Kravitz. It really does make me curious to see what she's going to do next, because I think that she has such a distinct eye. I think she has a very great way of thinking about how she wants to frame her shots as well as direct her cast, and I'm excited to see what comes next. I think it just needs a little more work on the story and the pacing, but overall still very solid. I'll give Blink Twice 4 stars out of 5. Definitely worth seeing, but like I said, there's trigger warnings for it, so just letting you know that. So anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions on Blink Twice, if you watched it or not, if you enjoyed it. What did you think about it? Like I said, I think Zoë has some great vibes that she adds to her film and a great eye. It's just the pacing was a bit off, and that's pretty much the only thing that I had a problem with. Some people are divided on the ending. I think it was a great ending and really stamped this film for sure. There was another ending here where it felt like it was going to end, and I felt like that would have been a better ending in a way, because it really left it open, and I love when films just leave it open for interpretation. But I still think that that ending that Zoë gave us is still good in the same light. Maybe I would have gone a half a star up if the movie ended on that shot, because it was just a wild shot. But anyways, follow us on our website, www.culturelixir.com, as well as Instagram at It's Culture Elixir. I'll see all of you next time. 35,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. Spoiler review tomorrow, so stay tuned. And as always, stay safe, stay positive.